So I just wanted to do a quick video just explaining once you get access how you get on and put Kairos bands onto your trading view. So first you'll have to be logged in to your trading view. You can see I'm already logged in here. And then once you get access for the indicator itself, you'll go into indicators at the top left. You will go to invite only scripts. Scroll down if you have a lot of them, and you will find the Kairos band strategy, and the creator is Brad. He's the one that put out the version for everybody to use. So he will be the creator there. Click on that. It will add it to the screen right here. So you can see it. It's going to say Kairos bands. And so this is, let me make everything else invisible. All right, so this is Kairos bands. Really, the core aspect of this is it's really just meant to be versatile. So you can really do whatever you want with it. Like I've tried doing some stuff with crude oil, which looks like I was messing around with the settings on that. So I made it where there was basically a 4-to-1 risk to reward, where it's a longer term trade, where you would maybe sit in the trade all day, and it was more of a continuation on like a breakout. So you would have, for example, if we were just doing it on MES, I could say, okay, well, what I like to do is the concept behind what I want to try to make Kairos do is to hit the second leg of a drop. So you're going to have this first leg right here. So we dropped, we consolidated, and I say I want to make sure to get that. Well, the settings I already have set up in Kairos bands for M and Q already does this pretty much, except for if you make it longer, if you make a bigger risk to reward, you'll get into this, and then you'll be able to catch that whole move instead of little scalps like what I like to do. I like to do 50-point scalps in NQ, so that's more up my alley. I like to be in and out, but you can do longer form by making it enter in around here, and then you're going to be following that down for whatever 4-to-1 target, whatever target you want to do for it. So you can do that with Kairos bands, and you'll see in the settings there's just so many things that you could do for it, do with it. So when you get into here, you can kind of mess around. What I like to do, this is the strategy version. So I work whenever I'm doing manual settings, I'm trying to mess with stuff to kind of get something good so that we can start to optimize it. Basically, I'll get a baseline, and then Brad will throw different optimization on it to make it even better. So I'll start out and I will click through stuff and just watch the backtest, the built-in backtest that I have. And I like to look for win rate differential and then number of trades. So I will want to keep that balanced, because you can get, like, say 50 trades and have a giant win rate differential, have like 25%, but it just doesn't tell you anything, because it's just not enough trades to really go through. So I make sure my trade count is typically pretty high, while at the same time keeping that win rate differential high. And I don't know if you can see on the screen, it might be kind of small, but just with this default that I have on here, so this is going to be 40,000 bars. It's like 9% win rate differential, which is really good for a 7-month back test, basically. And then you have your estimated equity, your R&R, your total R, so the total reward above risk that you're going to have over the lifetime of this back test. The number of trades excluded. This is when, because I developed, what I like to do is scalping. Oftentimes, if the market gets too volatile, if we start to get an ATR above 20, then we can see bars, or news releases, we can see bars that will hit both the stop loss and the take profit in the same bar. In that case, the trade does, typically it will count as a stop loss if I didn't have this built in to get rid of those trades. So with this, it just grays out the trade, and it does not count it in the back test. If you're set up for automation, it should still close you out. It'll just close you out on whatever one hit first. But for the back test purposes, because it's like you can't really tell unless you really get into the detail of the trade itself which one it hit first, because the bar hits both of them. Then it's just easier just to get rid of it in the back test. And then I added your required break-even win rate right here. And then you have, this is one of the my favorite things that I added. And these are like other algos that I used. I would spend hours just going back and looking at all the trades and doing a lot of these things myself, especially the max consecutive take profits and stop losses. Because if you're trading props, you want to know, well, okay, this might be profitable, but is there like a 20 trade losing streak? Like, does this algo or does this indicator typically go on like longer losing streaks? And I want to know that, because then my risk reward has to reflect that correctly. It needs to have a bigger risk reward if I'm going to have a bunch of consecutive stop losses in a row. So this one's very low. It's 13 wins is the max in a row, and then 4 losses is the max out of the whole back test. That's just amazing. Personally, is honestly great. And then the average consecutive take profit and stop loss. So this is just taking the each, how many times it if it's like takes 5 all the time wins in a row, then it will average out all of it together, and then you'll have the average, which is 2.44, and the average loss streak is 1.49. So roughly rounded up, I don't know, like 3 and 2 trades. So it's still really good. And then the grading system is just based on anything 8% and above is going to be A. I think I put it as 4% to 7.99% is a B. And then a C is like 0 to that to 4. And then negative would be a D. You'd have like 0 to negative 4%. And then negative like 4 to 6 or 8 is like an F. Something like that. You'll kind of see it when you play along with it. So on the visual of the backtest itself, of the chart itself, you're going to have this backtest thing, backtest dashboard that you can look at. And then also at the top right, you're going to have just a spreadsheet, basically. Brad was really good about making the strategies or the settings I was putting on the different algos that we were on together. He was good about tracking them and just making sure that if we need to adjust anything. So this is a great way just to get a quick snapshot. Okay, here's my week, here's my months, just to kind of know how the settings that I'm using are holding up. All right, so getting into the settings of this, there's so many ways that you could go about just messing with these settings. I typically like to find the concept first. So I'll say, okay, I want to do scalps and I want a high win rate. So the thing that I'm going to be thinking about as I'm doing that is like, well, what's the highest win rates typically? Highest win rates are typically where the risk to reward is skewed and your winners are typically less than your losers. So I wanted to get as close to 1-to-1 as possible, knowing that will keep my win rate higher, but at the same time, I obviously, nobody likes to have a negative risk to reward, so I like to get it as close to 1-to-1 as possible. But I will be willing, if the stats support it, to make my take profit higher than my stop loss, as long as the win rate still stays above typically 60%. I like to have. So the inverse trade button, honestly, I just keep it on inverse. I keep that checked because I like to follow the trend. But if you were to uninverse it, then everything is going the opposite way. But just keep in mind that these settings, the indicator parameters for your confluences, those do not actually change. So like they don't flip. So basically your overbought, RSI overbought, doesn't like flip so that your oversold is 71 and your overbought is 31. It will keep it all the same. So it's not like you're just reversing the trades completely. You are you're just kind of, it's a different way to put different concepts into place. So if you want to do more mean reversion or pivot point highs and trying to catch a reversal, you would probably want to have this inverse trades taken off. And then I would probably take off your enable trend or your trend filter for your EMA, and then start just playing around with the exhaustion filters, because that's what you basically want. For that, you want to get the exhaustion points and catch those pivot points or reversals. I don't like to do it, but it is possible with this. So just play around with it. I'm sure you can figure something out. There's so many ways that you can make this profitable, and I love the back test. One little quirk that I noticed, and this is really on most of the algos I've used, is like as you're kind of clicking through settings, this dashboard will disappear. So that's super annoying. I'm going to try to fix that and get it to stick around even as you mess through settings, because it's impossible to really mess with settings and get something good if you're just looking at the trading view strategy tester. So yeah, that's really it. That's how you can get set up. That's how you can kind of mess with settings yourself and just see what you can find. Honestly, I'm hoping that everybody will kind of share this stuff, and then we can all benefit at the same time. So I am a trader first. This is what I love to do. I'm mainly trading prop firms. I also trade my brokerage account, and right now I've really transitioned to doing all automation, where I was majority just a discretionary trader, where I began my journey as an ORB trader, and I did the 5-minute opening range breakouts. I did well through that. I got past combines. I got to payouts using that ORB system that I had, and then I really transitioned to volume profile and TPO profile stuff. That's what really made my discretionary trading take off. But there's always the human aspect, and honestly, the biggest human aspect that made me convinced to stop discretionary trading and maybe just do it every once in a while is the fact that I can trade so many dang accounts with automation in so many different ways. So I can have crude oil doing one thing, I can have gold strategy doing another thing on another account, I can have my ES strategies going on another account, I can do my NQ on some accounts. And then some of them have great days, some of them have bad days, but they all end up hedging each other to the fact that where I'm always profitable, always able to take a payout in one account or another. The guys who were running that QX settings, the reverse settings I had with me, we had a great run, and then it just went to basically break even for the next like 3 weeks, and so all my accounts with that were doing bad, and my ES reverse strategy was doing great. So I took a payout out of my ES strategy while all that was going to crap. So it was just a really nice way to still be bringing money in and still be making money through the prop firms. But yeah, if you have any questions, reach out to Brad. I'll be able to answer questions as well, but Brad would be the main point of contact. So, all right. Thanks, guys.